Yesterday, it became official shortly after we got done with the show, and we teased this.
It's super helpful to tease when you're the one breaking it.
Seen it coming that the Portland Trail Blazers and Root would be parting ways in their agreement. This was the slowest car going over the cliff.
Yeah, I reported this back on April 1st that the Portland Trail Blazers were.
It was not April Fool's joke.
No, that they were looking at ways to get out of Root. And I knew at that point in time that they were done with Root, but.
As a former employee of NBC Sports Northwest, can I say maybe this wasn't necessarily the slowest one?
Yeah, that is true. We all knew that was going to be gone.
Yeah.
But this is big news, though, because we knew when NBC Sports was in Comcast Sportsnet, when that train was coming into the station, that you were just going to switch platforms and you were going somewhere else, right? There is an unknown right now of where the Blazers will go, how we will be able to take in their games, and what that will look like from a distribution standpoint. So now we got to go to start looking at that and which route do they go? Because there are teams across the NBA that have already gone outside the box, and they have done this. And we've talked about this ad nauseum. The Blazers are in a unique position to do this on their own.
Yes, and I mentioned this in the article, but I did not mention it yesterday during the show. The reason why you saw the Kraken do this in April and not the Blazers is because the Kraken had to go immediately because they don't have their own broadcast team.
Yeah.
They had to cut ties and get rolling on building out a studio, getting talent, hiring all of the behind the scenes people, because if you're going to do this, you need to have your own setup. Blazers broadcast has been in existence for 30 years.
Yeah, and it started with old school Blazer Vision pay-per-view back in the day. It has been internal and an internal operation where they own the cameras, they have a production studio, they have a production team. And what most teams in the NBA or any sport, in any sport do, is they contract out to a network, and the network provides all of those pieces. The Blazers are different. This is also why Oregon State and Washington State do have appeal in conference realignment,
is because millions of dollars worth of this stuff.
The Pac-12 network, the one thing that was good about having the Pac-12 network is that there were broadcast operations that were set up at almost every single school in the conference, and they do have the ability to put those broadcasts out and do it in relatively short order. It was one thing that, was attractive about the LA schools and Oregon for the Big Ten move. The University of Washington did have to upgrade significantly their broadcast operation. But it is something that is actually a card in the back pocket for Oregon State and Washington State. And it's
tangible
actually
asset.
Very useful for the Portland Trail Blazers in this regard. They can now go to, instead of just saying we need to saddle up to one network and be besties with them, you can kind of go and do your own thing, whether it's a hybrid model of you do some pay-per-view and some over-the-air broadcasts, or, you do your own just pay-per-view thing like the Jazz have essentially done.
So, as I understand it right now, and in the press release from the Blazers yesterday, they have a big announcement coming. I'll tell you, the big announcement is that they're going over the air. That's coming. I'm not spoiling anything there. That's coming. The hope is that would be done now. But they have multiple partners that are interested.
Yeah.
And there are unique challenges and opportunities that come with both partners.
And for those that don't know, over the air would be, we'll just go through them in order of the numbers that the stations are.
Yeah.
Okay. You have K2 Channel 2, Coin Channel 6, KGW Channel 8, Fox 12. Those are your major broadcast players.
Those are your over-the-air providers, and you can throw
CW, which is an offshoot of Coin.
Yes.
But they will want them on 2, 6, 8, or 12.
Yes.
Those are their most powerful signals and widely distributed.
And you are seeing this already in Arizona. They have that, and also the New Orleans Pelicans last week are also doing it. But because there are multiple partners involved, you have owners of those stations. Like, I think everybody associates like Fox News. It's like, that's Murdoch. It's like, no, that's actually Sinclair. Or
No.
Gray.
Oh, no, KATU is Sinclair.
Yeah, no, it's
KATU
Gray.
is Sinclair.
Gray. I always get them mixed up.
Yeah.
With
Nexstar is Coin.
Coin.
Yes.
Like, this is the whole
Tech
Deion
does
Sanders.
KGW,
The whole
yes.
Deion Sanders getting mad at a local CBS
And a
reporter.
CBS Denver guy.
He doesn't work at CBS.
No,
he
And
works
they probably
for.
don't even own the station.
He
No.
works for Nexstar or Sinclair
Exactly.
or Gray
Yes.
or one of the
So-
distributors. Just like 1080 The Fan, we play ESPN programming. We're an Odyssey station.
Yes.
Odyssey is our boss, not
Mhm.
ESPN. So,
So
there you go.
that's how that stuff kind of works. Again, we're getting a little behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Also
inside
known
baseball.
as Dion as a dummy.
But
Yes.
but also that is good to know based on distribution statewide.
Yes, and so you kind of get an understanding of how that looks. And in talking to the stakeholders with the Blazers, the thing that they have told me for the last 6 months, and people can believe this or not, I'm just telling you, this is not them telling me to tell you this. This is in earnest conversations. They hated not having a fan base that they could get to.
Yeah, widely available.
Yeah, and the goal of this deal is to get it to as many people as possible. Like part of like wanting to tell people about leaving Root was like they wanted to energize the fan base. Like, look, guys, we're trying to do something here to make things better for you. We understand that things were not optimal last year.
Yep.
And this is the over the air is part of it. The other part of this is streaming. They want to and will have a streaming option. The thing is it's unclear exactly which way they will go depending on the partner. Because one partner may have it built in already and maybe you utilize that. Maybe one partner wants you to use your own standalone. Maybe one partner wants the league to be involved. Maybe one partner is on a streaming service so you can kind of co-op. Like there's just, when I say challenges and opportunities, these are all the considerations you have to consider when you're making this decision going forward.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, from the Blazers, from the literal very top of the organization, what I have been told is they want to deliver the best experience they can. They want to get it to as many people as simply and easily as they can. I've seen the numbers.
What a wild concept that is.
And this is something, for those people that don't know, this is something the Blazers wanted to do in 2018.
Yeah.
The NBA would not let them do it, which is why they signed back-to-back short deals with Comcast and Root. They signed the shortest possible deals imaginable when you're talking about like network deals. So I've been hinting at and teasing this for months, and I genuinely think this is like the biggest and best news for Blazers fans this year.
Okay.